The Full-Time Review Show is supported by and brought to you by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental, and also by Craig International, a truly global company with 10 offices strategically placed around the world. The future of global procurement is right here. Leighton Clarkson's third goal of the season for the Dons. In short, a vital win yesterday at Fir Park. It's our first league win and clean sheet since the 2nd of January. And doesn't it feel good? That win takes Aberdeen into 9th position. We go above St Johnstone. We are now only 2 points away from 8th place Motherwell and 5 away from Dundee, whose game today was called off against Rangers. Next up for us, it's a huge game in 2 weeks' time at home to fellow strugglers, Ross County. Hi everybody, a very good evening. How are you doing? Thanks for being with us this Sunday night for what is the review show here on Ali Beg ABTV. So this show is live. So if you'd like to have your say tonight, please come on and just tell us how you're feeling after yesterday's very important win against Motherwell at Fir Park. And wasn't it so much better? So coming up on tonight's show, I'll dedicate most of the programme to you guys. But I'm absolutely delighted to say that Russell Anderson will be on the show tonight. I spoke to him earlier today from his home in Aberdeen, and we reminisced about the 2014 League Cup final. The anniversary of that, or the 10th anniversary of that, was yesterday. And we also spoke a little bit about the incredible work that he does with his foundation. So please stick around for that. I think you'll really enjoy it. So wow, just the positivity is just oozing through me at the moment. And I'm absolutely thrilled with how the boys performed yesterday. Even in the opening 10 minutes, there was just more intent from them. In the whole of the 90 minutes that we saw against Dundee, and I thought, do you know what? If we can continue to play like this for the rest of the game, I think we might be okay today. All right, I confess, I think we got out of jail twice. I personally didn't really see much wrong with their equalising goal, but look, that is how football is these days. And I have to be honest, I held my breath in the closing seconds when it looked like the ball hit Graham Shinney's arm. Oh dear, that was a horrible few seconds until Willie Collum actually blew his whistle. So look, it was a I don't want to say a hugely improved performance, but it was a vastly improved performance on the Dundee game. And I am really happy that they have proved us wrong. So what we've asked for, just go out and prove us all wrong, prove the doubters wrong. So as much as it was a vital win, a good performance, a clean sheet, plenty of pass marks throughout the team, there is still plenty of work to be done. So you're still not off the hook as far as I'm concerned. And I just hope that this win lifts the boys' confidence, and over the next couple of weeks, they're able to take stock of it and just use the time to continue to work hard in training. And look, let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. There's a lot of talk about that there's going to be an announcement from the football club in the coming days about who the new manager is. Look, I personally don't know. I have no idea. I've been told so many different things. I've been told there will be an announcement tomorrow, as in Monday, if you're watching the repeat. I've been told it could be as early as Tuesday. So I just don't know. What I do hope is that whoever comes in, he comes in and he's given at least a good 7 to 10 days to work with the team. I also would like to take an opportunity to just heap praise on Peter Leven, because we've said before that this guy has come in. This is the second time that he's now come in. He's been thrown in at the deep end, and he's got a really decent performance and a very important win out of the lads. And I'll get to his post-match interview in just a moment, because there was a couple of quotes there which I thought were very, very telling. And I also think it tells us the level of his football brain and intelligence. So I'll get to that in a moment. What he did yesterday was just make the one change for the game against Motherwell. So Killian Phillips dropped down to the bench and in came Leighton Clarkson, who I thought put in a fairly decent shift yesterday. So he went with the 4-2-3-1 formation, and I just thought it worked absolutely fine on the day. So this is what he had to say. We don't have a long ball striker. We have footballers here, so I felt the best way to win at Motherwell was to use the ball and to play football. All we can control is what we do ourselves, and those 3 points were massive. We need to win every game. Those are the expectations here. It's about us, not anybody else. So let's just pick up on that. The fact that he said we do not have a long ball striker. At last, somebody, and this is not a dig at Neil Warnock, but somebody who has come out and has been able to recognise immediately what the issues were. And the issues were for all of us to see. Too much hoofball. And yesterday, we played the ball on the deck. We drove through them. And whenever we could, we got the balls down the flanks and got balls into the box. And for me, it just made a huge difference. And I think it also made a huge difference for Bojan because he just wasn't so exposed and he was so much more in the game yesterday. And obviously, that magnificent shot on the turn, which came off the post, which obviously led to Leighton following up and smashing it home, which I thought was a great finish, by the way, considering it was at hip height and he had to adjust his body to get the shot away and keep it down. I was delighted to hear Peter come out and say stuff like that. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. For me, he's a breath of fresh air. So just let me drag the final couple of bits and pieces in that I wanted to show you tonight. So we've got the match stats. I'll do that next, and then we'll get Russell's interview in, and then we are good to go. So what we'll do is we will... Where is he? Where's Rusty? There he is. Right, so there's Rusty. Okay, so let's do the match stats first. Let's take care of that. Quite even over the piece, to be honest. So 50-50% possession, 14 shots each, of which we managed 4 on target. We won 6 corners in the game, as did they. So as you can see, it was a pretty even affair. I've got another page for you to have a look at, which goes into a little bit more detail. So successful passes, we outpassed them by 317 to 309. Passes in the final third, which was almost double to what it was against Dundee, which was hugely pleasing, as were the touches. And touches in the opposite box, that was a significant rise on the game against Dundee. So very much plenty of positives from yesterday's game. Right, so what we'll do now is we'll start getting some of your thoughts in, and then we'll get to Rusty to sort of finish the show off. Ooh, there's lots and lots of comments. Okay. Right, let me put my glasses on. Right, so Fraser Gunn is on first of all. Hi, Fraser. A win, a clean sheet, superb. Credit to Peter and the interim coaching staff for getting the players to get the ball down and play. Gordon Keith Ritchie says, hi all, great win yesterday. Hopefully we keep it up to get a clean sheet and VAR discussion. Fraser Gunn went on to say, so now the international break. Who's going to be our new gaffer? It's the question on everybody's lips, Fraser. John Grant said, quite significant that the day we lose Devlin in defence early on, we keep a clean sheet. And if we can keep clean sheets, we have the chance to get something out of the game. I like Devlin, but further up the pitch. I tend to agree with that. John went on to say, great effort by the team against a dangerous opponent. Baz Strachan said, 3 points and a clean sheet. Well, miracles can happen. Great effort from the boys and onwards and upwards. David Scott said, lads done well yesterday. Much more like it. GS said, thought it was different when Devlin went off. Kept a clean sheet. He's asking what 2 managers would I like as the new manager. And he's talking about this Austrian manager that I've spoken about before. So So the Austrian guy, look, we're not going to get him. His name is Adi Hutter. Is I shouldn't laugh about stuff like this, but his full name is Adolf Hutter. He's currently the manager of Monaco, and I've been following his career since, ever since my family is from Austria, and this guy has just done an unbelievable job where he's been. But we're just not going to get him. It's as simple as that. The other chap, I must admit, I had no issues with Michael O'Neill, but he's ruled himself out. I would have liked Steve Clarke, but I just don't see that happening because of what's happening with the Euros. So at the moment, I talked about the boy Steve Cooper from Nottingham Forest. We've been linked with this guy Christian Titz from FC Magdeburg, but they are currently 12th in the German second division. So I'm not. That one doesn't float my boat. I got to be honest. So at the moment, I'm a little bit unsure. There's a boy Tellin that they keep talking about at Elfsborg, but he's come out in the press saying that he's very much concentrating on what he's doing at Elfsborg, and that there's been no contact. So I just don't know anymore. Michael Taylor says, good evening, guys. Hope we're all in good form today. 3 points for the Dons. Great feeling. Mark Cowison has said, clean sheet wins games. Got to give credit to Roos, who probably had his best game of the season. So, something that a few of you picked up on, which I thought was very telling, and it was great to read on social media, about how you recognised that Kelly was not humping the ball up the pitch. He was trying to sort of start moves from inside his own box and play the ball short. And I think that came from instructions from the boss. And to me, it made a huge difference. Bob Duff said, lovely jobbly, great weekend of football, and Man United beat the Scousers too. What a game of football that was. I don't know if you caught it. Man United winning 4-3 at Old Trafford, but literally the last kick of the game. It was absolutely sensational. What a game of football. David Gold says, good evening. Nice to see a bit of fight yesterday. Yeah, 100%. Paul Donaldson said, good evening, Ali and all the dandies. Much better yesterday. We got away with one for the disallowed Motherwell goal, but would have felt a bit hard done by if Motherwell had got a penalty at the other end. Sue said, great result. Long may it continue. Bob Duffer said, Motherwell are dragged back into it. Canewell Metal Detectives has said, typical, been doing Clarkson for FS for weeks. What's FS? Only week I don't do it, he scores. Great window. Is that a bet or something? I don't bet, so I wouldn't have a clue. The Mad Ferret says, it's a beautiful Sunday, as the Matalan Catalans used to sing. Bob Duff says, Dundee pitch is a disgrace. Paul Donaldson has said, the Shinnie handball incident was probably as much a handball as the Bear one, but it was well after the ref should have blown the final whistle. Bob Duff came back to say, I like the cut of Leven's jib. Plays good football. Agree. Fraser Gunn came back to say, it was great to see the Russell Anderson interview earlier. A great chat you had with a very enjoyable perk of being a VIP member of your channel. Okay, so just let me briefly explain that. So there is a membership scheme here, and forgive me if I'm repeating myself and if you've heard this spiel before, but if you're watching for the first time, there is a membership scheme which YouTube set up a wee while ago to help people like me. And you pay a small monthly subscription fee, and all it does is just help me build this channel. And I keep saying it, but for next season, we're going to be sort of revamping, relaunching, and whatever I make from you guys is all going back into this channel, which I'm working on at the moment. And one of the perks of the membership I thought would be quite cool is whenever I do an interview with an Aberdeen Football Club based person, ex-player, member of staff, whatever the case may be, I put the interview on YouTube earlier than airing it live so that members can watch the interview on YouTube before it actually airs. So it's just a wee perk. It's just stuff like that. And also, if you become a member, I like to get involved with you guys and have a one-on-one Zoom session with you and just, chat about the Dons and, yeah, just get your general overview and thoughts about the channel and what you guys think of it and how you think it could be improved, and get your feedback on it, which is vitally important to me. Bastrakin said, should we just keep leaving in the job until we are safe to the end of the season? Won't changing the manager be a massive risk? Do you know, it's a really interesting point, I have to say. That's why I would like, and I'm hoping to see the manager come in so that he does get a good 7 to 10 days with the squad, because then he's able to implement his own style on the players and have bounce games in that time before we play Ross County. But there is a very valid point to just letting Peter continue to take charge of the team until we are sort of mathematically safe. But it's a conundrum, isn't it? What do you do? Do you twist or do you stick? It's a very, very interesting point and a very interesting topic. Paul Donaldson said, the lesson from the past week, don't rely on Hearts or Hibs to do you a favour. I know, I couldn't believe Hearts yesterday. Honestly. Neil McDonald said, finally, more than deserved VAR luck. Considering the past few weeks' debacle, the county game now is vital. Bob Duff said, I'd keep leaving in place. Take out time to make the permanent appointment. Greg Kearney has said, Shinny handball looked to hit him above his armband. No penalty. Jack McKenzie was man of the match. McGrath closely behind. Why, oh why, don't our players shoot? Tried to walk the ball in so many times. I thought Jack was absolutely sensational yesterday. What about that block that he made in the first half? Oh, my Lord. That's what we need. That is what we need. Players who will just go that extra mile to put their bodies on the line to ensure that we win games of football. And Jack epitomised that yesterday. For me, I'm going to keep banging his drum because I felt he came in for a lot of unfair criticism. I think he's been our most improved player in the past few months. Bruce Struthers has said, great to see the Dandies trying to actually play football with the ball on the deck rather than the Robson and Warnock hoofball tactics. Clear to see the ball players prefer these tactics. Michael Taylor says, looks like the international break possibly came at the wrong time. Want to kick on into the county match ASAP. Yeah, mate, I'm with you. I said that yesterday on the Big Saturday Football Show. Why, oh why is the international break come now? Susan Casey said, better performance from the team, looked to have a bit more fight, but that last minute VAR check, I don't think I had a fingernail left. You heard the relief from the fans with the cheer at the end. Gavin Wilson makes a good point. I really hope that the manager who's coming in is a manager. Lillian Miller, ooh, super dandies from the northeast. What a day. Just love the Ultras. Yes. Okay, right, there's lots and lots of more messages come in. I'll try and get them to you. I'll try and get to most of them as the night rolls on. But let's get to Russell Anderson. So, as I mentioned at the top of the show, yesterday was the 10th anniversary of us winning the League Cup. So what I thought I would do was just get Russell on to just reminisce about that game. Let us tell us his own memories of the game and chat a little bit about his foundation, which is doing the most incredible work in the Aberdeenshire area. So I spoke to him from his home this morning, fresh from the gym. Welcome, Russell Anderson, to ABTV. Good morning, fella. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm good, Ali. How are you?
Yeah, absolutely great, mate. Thank you so much for jumping on. It's great to see you, as always. So we'll talk about the dinner and we'll talk about the foundation in a second, but let's talk about the League Cup final first of all. I was only saying yesterday, I cannot believe it's 10 years already. It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah. You just think about what's happened over that period of time in terms of where the football club's gone, and just looking back at the photographs at the time, because there was lots coming through on social media yesterday, and I've obviously got my own kind of batch at home, and you just look at the age of the kids back then for everybody, because I remember the scenes afterwards. Everyone had their kids on the pitch, as you would expect, and for my own two, well, what would that have been? 12, no, 14 and 11. So it's just, you don't know where the time actually goes. Just life goes on, doesn't it? But you look back with fond memories of that day.
Cool. So I've got to ask you, when you look back on that day, what would you say is your fondest memory? Was it Adam scoring the winning penalty? Was it you lifting the trophy? Was it, just the atmosphere? What was it?
I think that the highlight, the buzz for me was when the penalty went in. I think lifting the trophy, yeah, understandably was a great moment for everybody. It had been really long, too long. But that actual buzz when the penalty from Adam hit the back of the net, I think that something that probably won't get recreated in my lifetime in terms of that kind of excitement for me personally, anyway. So that I would say that was the highlight. But I mean, there's so many others as well. There was such a lot made of um, the fans, the build up to the game. Just the whole kind of sea of red as you were walking out onto the pitch. It was mind blowing. Actually, we'd heard on the way down. Obviously, there was a display. There was supporters that had gone down the day before to kind of
Mm,
prepare for it, but nothing could prepare you for that sea when you came out just before kickoff. So I mean, you add it all together. The day itself was very special. The game slightly less so. I think everyone would agree with that. But the actual experience in the day, and from what I've spoken to a lot of people, it's that younger generation of Aberdeen fans that hadn't seen
yeah.
any kind of success. So for them, I think, and even I suppose parents that were going down that perhaps had enjoyed the success of the 80s and stuff to then kind of go down with their children who hadn't seen that kind of success. I think I've spoken to a lot of people that were in that boat, and it was just nice for them to kind of experience it with their kids.
Mm. Just very quickly before we come to your dinner, I've always wondered, when the penalties were being taken, did you actually have a role during that time? Did you remind the players who was going next? Did you talk to them at all? Did you do anything? What did you do during that period?
I think just the point when they were deciding, then obviously you're just doing your bit, but everyone was kind of in the same boat. So I wouldn't say there was any additional kind of responsibility for me because um, they were well prepared. Manager said his bit, Tony Dock as well, and then the players knew themselves. They just really got to get in the zone, focus, and thankfully the quality of the penalties was exceptionally high, and Jamie Langfield did his bit as well. So it was probably less nerve wracking than well, it was than a lot of other penalty shootouts because it started so well for us.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Right, your dinner. How much are you looking
Yeah.
forward to it? No doubt it'll be a fantastic occasion.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's been nice to kind of speak to the players, the manager, and Doc, just to kind of get them all back up the road. So we've got the majority of the boys coming back. So you know what, like they're always on the end of the phone if you want to kind of speak to them and stuff, but it's not quite the same as getting them all back together
Yeah.
for an evening. And like you say, it's been 10 years, so a lot's happened in that time. Everyone's kind of moved on. Some boys are still playing, others not. So it will be an enjoyable evening. Lots of good people in the room as well. And an opportunity to reminisce, I suppose, and then also, I suppose, the benefit to my foundation of just raising the exposure, the profile of it for maybe some people that don't know so much about what we do.
Yeah. Well, just very quickly, just explain what you do to folk that don't know, because obviously what you're doing, Russell, is a phenomenal job for the Aberdeen community, the larger community, and it deserves more. I think it deserves to get out there a lot more. I think more people need to know about it. So just briefly explain what you're doing.
So, in a nutshell, we've been running it about, what's that, 12, 13 years now. It started off basically just as football coaching for kids in some of the areas in the city that perhaps couldn't afford to pay for it. So, myself and one other coach, when I was still playing, I would go in. Tilly Drone was where we started. Just took the kids for one coaching session a week just after school. And it became really popular, so we had to kind of grow, increase the sessions. And then eventually, when the schools kind of realised what we were doing and the level of engagement we had with the kids, they asked us to start kind of getting involved within school time because they were really struggling in terms of their resources to engage with the kids in what we would have typically known as PE sessions. So we started to work within the school timetable, and then it broadened out from there that it wasn't just about the health and well-being, exercise, getting the kids fit, active, engaged. It was more about the educational side of it, so how we can incorporate that back into the classroom. If you are exercising, fitter, healthier, you're more engaged in the classroom, so your performance in there will improve. And I suppose the main thing that we're trying to do is help the schools and the children close that attainment gap that is obviously there for children living in more deprived areas of the city. So you're looking at the education aspect of it, the health and well-being, which includes eating more healthily, so learning how to cook healthy meals, sleeping patterns, how that's important for every part of your life. And then more recently, we've started to get involved with employability opportunities for children towards the other end of the age spectrum, those that are in secondary school, and trying to offer them opportunities for pathways that they might not have previously considered because they've never been exposed to it. So there's a whole breadth of kind of areas that we're covering. We're also doing, we're going to start holiday camps for the kids, summer, October, Easter ones coming up. It's all free of charge. So I think at last count of applications for 250 kids to come over a week. And it's all free of charge to them. So it really is just, I suppose, trying to give them an opportunity to kind of better themselves. And as we use the strap line, it's level the playing field. So just give them that chance because they maybe haven't been dealt the best hand in life. And just because there's a lot of good kids out there with a lot of potential, but they just need that support to be able to fulfill it. So that's in a nutshell what we do. So there's lots to go with it.
Brilliant. Mate, well, listen, the very best of luck with it. And I know you're doing a phenomenal job, and keep up the great work with it. And thanks so much for jumping on, and have a brilliant time at the dinner.
Thanks, Ali.
Brilliant,
Good to
mate.
speak to you.
Take
Cheers.
care. Ta-da.
Thank you.
Ta-da. Ta-da. What a phenomenal job that chap is doing. Thank you, Rusty. So just a gentle reminder, if you've not already subscribed to Ali Beg AB TV here on YouTube, I'd be absolutely thrilled if you would please consider it. All you have to do is press the little subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's totally free. And we're edging ever closer to 3,500 subscribers, which is just phenomenal. I got told the other day by YouTube that the percentage has come down a little bit now. So 68% of you who watch the channel don't subscribe or haven't subscribed. 68%. So if you are watching and you've not subscribed and you enjoy what you watch, I would be absolutely thrilled, really, really happy if you would please consider subscribing to us, because we're growing and we're building and we can see it, and it's bloody marvellous. Right, let's get back to your comments just to finish off. Right, where are we? Greg Kearney's asking if there's any news on Devlin's injury. I don't know, but it looked like a nasty one, didn't it? I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll get patched up over the next couple of days. I'm sure he'll be fine. A lot of you are like, you're talking about the penalty incident, and all of you are saying that it wasn't a penalty. Fair enough. I have no issues with that. Neil McDonald has said, whoever gets the managerial role needs a 3-year minimum to rebuild. That is the reality, I believe. Michael Taylor said, definitely got away with it on the 2 occasions that you spoke about, Ali. I'd be raging if you flipped the coin and it went against us. I must admit, so would I, mate. Christopher Mainland had said, how much further ahead would we be if we had stuck with interim leaving rather than have gone with Warnock? Yeah, but it's, it is what it is now. Malcolm Park said, I'd definitely be looking for the new manager to keep leaving in the coaching staff. Yeah, I agree with that. Ralph Ainsworth has said Ross County at home on Saturday, the 30th of March, is now the proverbial 6-pointer. It is. Paul Donaldson said, thought Kelly Roos was a lot better than he's been the past few matches. Quite a few good saves that kept us in the match. Yeah, look, for me, you give credit where credit is due. I've come on, I've been critical of him. You guys have been critical of him. But I think, yesterday was one of his best games in a long time. So let's big him up. That's what I think. Transmission GGB is asking, how can Leven seem to be so good? Is it because the past couple of managers are that bad and make things so difficult for themselves, and the club by losing all logic and making things so technical? He's just a good coach and he just gets it, obviously, and he understands us, and I think that's really important. Bruce McKenzie is saying Lewis and Harris Dons Supporters Club have their annual club trip to Pittodrie for the Ross County game. Massive game, about 30 of us heading over for it. Bring it on. Brilliant, guys. Fantastic. What an effort these guys make. All the way from Lewis and Harris. It's a phenomenal trip that they do. It's a long trip that they do. And the dedication that these guys show to support the football club is absolutely amazing. I tip my hat to you. I really do. Transmission GGB says, shout out for Jack McKenzie and that tackle early on. It set a standard at the back yesterday. I agree. Mark Kindness has said, not an Aberdeen supporter. Football, not that hard. The board needs to spend big on and off the park. Stop dancing around and take it serious. I have no issues with that whatsoever. Graham Gibb has said, Leven has done well, but let's not even consider him carrying on. Have we learnt nothing from the Robson era? I don't think he will, though, mate, because I don't think he, to be honest with you, again, it's just gossip and it's just what I hear, and I'm sure you guys have heard the same, but he said that at the moment, it's not for him. Neil Strachan says, can't wait for the Ross County game. Transmission GGB came back to say, no more yes men. Time for a real manager. 100%. Yeah. So, a lot of you coming on and saying how much you enjoyed the interview with Russell and the amazing work that this guy does in the community and everybody that's involved in his foundation. Yeah. Jim Ross said they fought for the shirt and the badge. Exactly. Right, guys, we are all done. We've just done over half an hour. So thank you so much again for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving all your comments. So we have the international break now. I hate the international break. I've got to be honest. So I think what I'll do is, if the new manager gets appointed in the next few days, then obviously we shall do a show. We'll do a live show and we shall react to that immediately. Keep an eye out for the Theo Schneider's question and answer session, which I did a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to chuck that interview up on the channel this week. And look, if anything else happens at the football club, if there's anything out with the new manager coming in, we'll just jump on and we'll just do a live show and we'll just react to all the news that's coming out of Pittodrie. So look, have a good few days, take good care of yourselves, and let's enjoy this moment. It's not very often that we can be extremely positive about the boys, but yesterday was great. What a good feeling it is to win a game of football and to win it in the manner that we won it, because as we know, Motherwell have always been slightly tricky, even though our recent record there has not been that bad. So well done, lads. Congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back. It's deserved. But let's not forget, you still have plenty of work to do. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you again very soon. Stand free.